back to another week of Techy Tuesday. Today we're going to continue our series where we're talking about some of the more advanced editing techniques that we can utilize with our KW agent websites. And today we're going to talk about AI custom pages. So looking right here, if you guys want to go in real time and check out an example of this, you can go to kwheritagetech.kw.com and you can see what we have done here with our homepage. So this homepage was fully created through a program called Gamma.ai. So it created this page right here for us, which we then turned into the homepage of our website. So there is a bunch of cool stuff that you guys can be utilizing with AI in order to customize your websites more than you probably thought was possible. And this so far has been one of the favorite things that we have found. So this entire homepage has everything that we need for our agents when they visit to understand what's happening on our website. And it was all built using the Gamma.ai platform. And then we were able to replace our search bar homepage with this one instead. If you want to learn how to do that, that'll be a later video. Today we're just going to talk about actually building the Gamma.ai page. So when we come into Gamma, that's going to be our very first step. You're going to go to Gamma.app, and that's going to get you to the homepage of Gamma where we can start this process. I'm showing right now the pricing structure. There is a free account that gets you 400 AI credits, and I can tell you so far I have created 2 web pages and I am down to 360 credits. So that does get you a few pages depending on how much advanced tools you are asking to use on those pages. And then if you really love it and you want to extend the features, you could go into one of the paid versions, but everything I'm doing today is strictly through the free version. So you can go ahead and start the option to create an account, and it's going to ask you a few questions in terms of setting that account up. Once you're finished setting the account up, you're going to get to this page right here where it's going to prompt you to start creating some stuff with AI. There is also a home dashboard where you can look at the back end of Gamma, but we are not going to be focused on that part today. We just want to look at how to actually create the pages. To get here, we have 3 options. You can generate from a one-line prompt. You can import a file or URL. So if you have a current website and you want it to pull some of the information from that, then you can choose the option to give it a URL to base some of the information off of. You can also just in plain text put in any extra notes or outlines that you want it to use when generating your page. But most likely what you're doing this for is because you don't want to do the work. You want AI to do it for you. So we're going to stick with the generate option here and go ahead and just give it a prompt where then Gamma is going to do 100% of the work for me. So once I hit generate, it's going to ask you here, what are we generating? For this case, you're going to want to select the option for a web page. After that, it's going to ask you to go ahead and put in your prompt. Now, when it asks for cards, that's how many options and kind of boxes on the website there are. So when we scroll through, you'll see this first one, that's a card. Then we have our Meet Our Tech Team, that's another card. So each one of these little sections is considered a card. Now with the free plan, you can have up to 10 cards. So depending on how detailed you'd like your site page to be. So I'm gonna go ahead and switch it to 10 cards, and then I'm gonna give it a prompt. So the prompt I decided to give it was create a page for my real estate website that discusses the steps for a first-time home buyer living in Texas, and then I'm going to ask it to create an outline for me. From there, I'll be able to edit this outline. And so you'll see it write out all the way up to the amount of cards or the amount of sections that you said you wanted on your site. I can then come in and edit the information. So right now it is just the outline. It's just giving me the text that's going to show up on my site and how it's going to further build out based on this outline. So if there is something that is glaringly incorrect that the AI gave you, you have full functionality in here to go ahead and edit that information. Also, if you maybe only did 8 cards, you can always add another one. After you edit the actual outline information, it's going to ask you to give it an idea of what theme. The theme is going to be the colors, the fonts, the overall way that this looks. So they have a bunch of different options in here. I kind of like this one right here, so I'm going to choose that for now. And so my website's going to be built with this general aesthetic. Once I select my theme, it's going to ask me how detailed I want my content to be. Do I want brief, short sentences? Do I want it kind of a normal pace? Or do I want it super detailed? The next thing it's going to ask is image source. This is where it's pulling all of the images for the website that it is going to build out. So it is incredibly important here that you select the option that you want. I usually suggest either AI images or stock photos. The one problem with AI images is we are in real estate, which means a lot of our photos are going to be of people, of clients, of the actual deal going on. And sometimes we can end up with people that have way too many fingers or not enough fingers. So sometimes we want to avoid AI images. You can always try it and see if it works out for you, but sometimes your better bet is going to be stock photos. So if you are not going to use AI, please choose stock photos. That way you save yourself any legal trouble of accidentally using a copyrighted photo. Stock photos are going to be uncopyrighted so that you are allowed to use those photos. Once you've selected whether or not you're going to use AI photos or stock photos, you're going to select the option to go ahead and generate your site. So now Gamma has generated my entire web page for me. It looks beautiful, and there's not a lot of work I had to put in. I just had to give Gamma the prompt. And then again, if I want to edit any of this information, if you want to change any of it around, you want to get a different font, or you want to add in something, you have full control to edit what's on this site. Maybe you want to change some of the background photos that pulled in. You are not stuck with exactly what they spit out at you. You can further customize it from there using some of the options that show up on the side, as well as when you're actually in your video. If you'd like more detailed explanation of how to do this, you can always meet with us and we can help you with it a little bit more in depth, but just for your overall idea of how this platform works. Once you are happy with the way that this page looks, you're going to select the option to publish it. So when I hit view sites, I can come here and go ahead and get the URL associated with the site where you're looking at it outside of the editor version of it. Once we have that copied, our next step is to actually get it live up on our command websites. So you would go to command, navigate to the websites tab at the bottom. We have an option here for settings. That is the section you're going to want to select. And then we're going to hit edit my website. From there, we are going to need to make it as its own custom page through our website editor through command. So we're going to select on the option for custom page, and then we are going to give that page a title. So this title does not have to show up on the custom page itself because again, we built everything through Gamma and we want to keep that aesthetic the same throughout, but a title is required so that when you're trying to come back and maybe edit this later, you know what page you were working on. So I'm going to label this Gamma Test. But I can always hide that page heading if I decide I do not want it to show up. Below that, it's going to ask me to add page contents. So I'm going to hit add module. And the module we are looking for is the iframe embed. So if you scroll down through all of these options, until you get to all of those listed out, you're going to select the option for iframe embed. It's then going to ask you, well, which iframe do you want to use? So if you have made iframes before, you're going to see them underneath your list of all your iframes. But in this case, we're going to want to make something brand new. We have never iframed this site. So we're going to create new. Again, you are going to have to give it a title. This is just so when you're looking at your list of iframes, again, you knew what this iframe was being used for. And then it's going to ask you for the URL. So that's what we already copied and pasted from Gamma itself. So we should already have that copied. If you need to go back, you can. And we're going to paste it where it's asking for the URL. Now you could mess with the height and the iframe width to get this to look exactly perfect how you want, but it looks just fine to me for now, so I'm not going to mess with that. I'm just going to go ahead and hit publish. After I have published the iframe, I still have to stick it into my site. So I'm going to hit the back button once I get this green publish notice. And under the iframe page content, this time when I select it, I will see the iframe labeled that I had just made. So I'm going to select that, and you can wait for it to show up in your preview to make sure that it looks the way you want. And then we're going to hit publish. Again, once you get this green notice that you've saved, then you are done editing this page. However, that is not quite our last step. We still need to get this into our menu bar. So we have another video on how to edit your menu bar. I highly suggest you go take a look at that so that you can actually publish the page that you just created. Because right now, even though I hit publish, it does not make it a live link in my menu. I would still have to go back and do that process. So if you have any other questions or concerns on how any of this Gamma stuff works or how to get it into your website, leave us a comment and we'll get back to you. Or you can schedule an appointment with us if you are one of our KW Heritage agents. So thanks so much for tuning in, and I'll see you guys next week.